All right, we are going live, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Monday, May 4th, and it is later than 1 p.m., but nonetheless, it means one thing that it is the Calamity Jane Adventure Hour Lives weekly live stream. Hi, I'm Eric, as always, and with me is.
Hello, everyone. James here as well, hanging out with y'all.
And today we're going to pick up where we left off last week. Just as a quick reminder, last week we started talking about the character of Dr. Exposition, where she came from sort of as a narrative gag slash opportunity for me to be lazy as the writer. We talked about a little bit of the inspiration point about how we came to her current design. She was short and an alien at one point, but really what anchored her was the sort of very kind of
More of an Asian influence doctor type, and then stretched her up and went to Alien, and then again went completely out of left field and went to Goldfish in a bowl, and then post-apocalyptic.
but
But yeah,
the it's interesting though. That with you talk about the fishbowl and with the spider legs, that kind of creative blue skying is really valuable though, and I don't know that there's anything. I mean, quite frankly, what I'm going to point out is the fact that the goldfish it has the glasses on that that Doctor Exposition now wears. You know,
yeah, that's funny. It did stick through. Like
yeah.
even in our toleration that we've settled on, we still grab things from
Mm-hmm.
other elements in a way. Like here's a lab coat.
Mm-hmm.
Lab coats from post-apocalyptic, and I
So
didn't have that on here, so
yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah. So it's just an interesting thing that it doesn't matter how kind of left field you go with it. It sometimes there's value hidden even in the most like far afield ideas that you can come up with. But in any case, so where we left it last week, you had just started working on Doctor Exposition's head, and we talked briefly about how there's not any real lines that you're carrying through the characters. It's all about shape language, and you were forming the shapes of that will be ultimately make up the character.
Yeah, yeah, because of the stylistic choice that I wanted to kind of focus on for Calamity Jane. Everything's all shapes. There's no lines. Everything
Mm-hmm.
has to be reliant on the lines shapes make together as a unit. So, especially with Doctor Exposition, to me, she's probably one of the my more. She's probably my favorite character, actually, with easily recognizable lines of just pretty much a straight line,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of a ball on her head, and she should be pretty easy to read on any background. As a result of that, just really comes down to color choices now, where we lay her out. But she's going to be mainly, well, at least in this first episode. I don't want to give anything else away, but in this first episode, she's going to be mainly on a lot of browns and yellows because she'll be in Dry Gulp Gorge's scene during the day, during day
Mm-hmm.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But as far as designing the rest of her, I'm gonna start kind of going into setting her up. I'm gonna start by taking these photos and kind of bringing them closer over. I'm kind of done with this whole section here. Got her
Mm-hmm.
glasses on. I don't need that reference anymore. I'll probably keep these here for a little bit, just to kind of look a little bit as I go. But for the most part, I kind of have a pretty good idea of how I want to proceed with her. This photo has been pretty valuable in some ways for shaping your head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I'm going to go into town with that first, and start see if we can layer out even further.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. So, I gave an update to everybody on the Thursday Patreon site, and it wasn't anything too exciting. I mean, it is exciting because we're continuing to make project progress on words sometimes don't work. On the production, and we talked about this briefly in other streams, but in just terms of bringing all aspects of the show together, right? So you obviously are very focused on developing the characters and the animation and building out the actual visual world that they exist in. And I've been doing a lot of audio capturing and getting sound effects collected and putting all of that together, as well as recording VO and doing some mastering. And maybe just wanted to talk a little bit about how all of that comes together in the final episodes, or for the final episode.
Yeah, it's funny. We have our weekly one-on-one meetings just with us on the weekends, and we kind of cross-reference what we're doing. We discuss what's working and what's not. We've been pretty particular about our voice actors if we want to play certain characters. I mean, I know we've had and they're healthy debates. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just we kind of have the writer has something in his head, and the animator has something in his head too,
Mm-hmm.
and we come to a consensus sometimes just through process. It's been interesting to kind of do that with you.
No,
No,
it actually is good, because I think the thing that I find the most valuable for us is we both have very clear opinions that we articulate really well about what we're looking for, and I, at least for me, I don't feel like there's really any antagonism. There's no competition for who's right and who's wrong. I think we both do a really good job of listening, and I feel like I've contributed as much to the creation of the characters as you have, in that sense, is that we have such a strong mutual respect for this world and the characters that we're creating, that it actually breeds really strong cooperation with very little kind of contentious competition.
I've been wanting to pull this out for a while.
Oh shit! Just as I start to say it, and then now
Yeah,
it gets
no,
bad.
I've been trying to prepare us for the inevitable impasse that we would have, but maybe I should just wait what the mechanism is to solve it. But
Yeah.
I'm working to tell you now here. I mean, my question was if we ever come to a point where we're both kind of, well, do you want me to reveal this mechanism or not, Eric?
Oh
It's
no,
kind of
I have to see it coming. If I don't see it coming and you spring it on me, I'm just gonna shut down. I'm gonna
uh,
no, and I'm just gonna throw a temper tantrum, and then that'll be it.
so let's imagine we had an issue with Dr. Exposition. We could, like, I love the goldfish, for example, and
Sure.
you wanted this space girl or something,
Okay. All right.
Uh,
So we're in complete fantasy land then. That's what you're
yeah, we're
saying.
completely we're stuck. We don't know what to do. My solution was going to be we have to just, and we always do a video chat whenever we're discussing stuff for the
Mm-hmm.
most part.
Mm-hmm.
Is we would have to do rock paper scissors. That's 2 out of 3,
Best two out of
and
three.
and
Okay.
and that's how I would solve it. That's how I want to solve anything. Any problem in production,
All
that's
right.
how I want to solve things. That's always been a goal in my life to conduct that, and it's never happened. I've been looking forward to the day where I can get away with saying that and pitching that as, okay, well, if we can't solve this issue, it's time to bring out rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. Right. Right. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. And
I mean, I feel like there's been some major world decisions that have been determined on a rock, paper, scissors, so I'm perfectly on board with that. I mean, frankly, where I thought you were going to propose Star Trek style death battle, complete with,
oh
the combat music, so I'm glad that we're not going to have to do some kind of strange Kirk Spock,
no,
battle to the death over a character. So I'm happy with rock, paper, scissors.
I would definitely be post series Kirk, and you would be, perfectly in shape Spock in this case. Where we're at right in our lives, you would really win in that
Yeah.
battle. Even though the ego that I had to have as Kirk would be there, it's not enough to muster enough physicality to overpower you. I'm sorry. I know my limitations. A man must know.
Okay, well then can we loop back around then? Because now I want to put that back on the table if it's guaranteed that I'm going to win that argument. This is a total aside, but that episode, Amok Time, and I don't remember if that was season 1 or season 2, but the premise is that it's mating season for Klingon, or not Klingons, Vulcans, and if you watch the episode, like, Spock is supposed to be in a state of uncontrollable mating rage for the whole episode.
What
And
season was that?
what's that?
Was that in season 1? When was
I
that?
don't I do not remember which season it was.
Okay.
But the title of the episode is Amok Time, M-O-K.
I remember that title. I do remember.
A-M-O-K, yeah. And then, of course, so Kirk has to have his impactful monologue at some point in the episode, right? And again, so the whole episode, Spock is just in a stage of sexual rage, and then Kirk gets to his impassioned monologue, and you see out of focus in the background Leonard Nimoy smoking a cigarette while leaning on one of the props in the background of the set.
Wow. I never caught that.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, you
I never,
don't. It's like you don't even notice if you're not looking for it, but once you see it, you can't ever not see it.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I want to watch that episode now again, and just to witness that. It's in the scene. You can see it pretty clearly.
I'm pretty sure you can. It's been years. It could my memory of it could be more inflated than the reality is, but my memory of it is like you. It's like that's Leonard Nimoy smoking a cigarette in the background.
Wow,
That's my memory of it. Yeah.
that's pretty rad, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I was actually trying to. I was kind of in the mode to watch Star Trek, the original series, for a little while for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and obviously now with everybody locked down, like Amit and I, we both kind of share the TV, so we usually have news on or we watch a shared show together. So we're watching like Community right now and stuff like that. So I don't think I can convince her to watch Star Trek, the original series. So I'm gonna have to do that on my own when things go back to normalcy. But I was on about season 3. I think I just finished the episode with the Bjorn, the lizard guy.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite episodes. I love that episode.
Yeah, that is a great episode. I mean, and it's really like it's super cheesy.
It's cool.
The fight is so bad, and the costume is so bad. But there's just so many great lines, though. Like I don't remember. I can't. I'm really terrible at remembering quotes, so I'll just paraphrase. But it was when Kirk is holding all these precious gems and stuff, and he's like, "What I would trade just for a phaser." It's like it's a great line.
My favorite line in that episode is
that is a direct quote. That's really awesome.
That's my favorite.
He just nailed it. That's amazing. I always think about that thing. I think of for some reason the name Bosk comes to mind, and it's one of the bounty hunters in Star Wars who does look remarkably similar to.
Is that the guy that's kind of orangey and yellow?
It's a lizard. It's a lizard dude. He was in Empire as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. And he runs around barefoot. His claws are out, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
For some reason, the first thing I thought about is, man, he's barefoot. What about the hygiene? Like, is he gonna get sick? Or I don't know why I was concerned with him in that regard. The first thing I thought about when I first saw him was like, oh, he's not cool. He's not wearing even shoes.
He's not wearing shoes. You measure a man's coolness by the shoes that he wears.
He can step in some Bantapudu without even looking.
That is true. That is true. Bantapudu is a constant risk for his species.
In the wrong place, wrong time.
Oh my god. So what are you prepping right now? I see you smearing some stuff and now shaping it like clay.
Yeah, this is going to be her lips.
Okay.
I'm kind of in that mode now. I don't know if you know. I've been kind of just taking shapes. Like I kind of just completely. I didn't like her eyes that I had where I left off last week.
I noticed that you redid those. Yeah.
Yeah. Her nose I've changed up a little bit. I kind of instead of made it more pointed and taper, I added more of a flatness to it.
Is there a reason? I mean, just out of curiosity, or is it just you felt the look looked better?
Yeah, I just felt like the look looked better. I mean, I'm still kind of out. The jury's still out. We can still discuss it, but. I mean, just based on what I'm looking at here, I mean, I'm using these as reference. I kind of like this nose would probably reflect it closer.
Okay. So it's a matter of hitting the reference a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of just using reference a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I'm only using photo reference for a reason, but we can always change it out. That's what's fun about making cartoons. You can always depart.
That's true. That is very true.
If you feel strongly about her having more of a pointed nose, I sense rock or paper scissors in our future.
Oh no, I defer to your expertise on Dr. Exposition's nose, so I give it to you, free and clear.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll go with this for now. But again, and Eric's been kind of used to this now. But I kind of sometimes I'll just second guess and I'll just kind of go nah, and on a whim I'll kind of change things up, and then Eric's the one that's the one that kind of brings me off the ledge and goes, no, it's fine.
I feel like we do that for each other though, because there's a number of times where I'll go. No, no, no! Stop working on this. This is the animatic for this scene because I decided that the entire script is terrible. Let me rewrite the entire third act again.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that kind of both do a
Yeah,
check on there a little
there's
bit, which is good.
yeah, there's been a number of times where you've stopped me from completely throwing the entire script away. Although we did, frankly, we did, and do a major rewrite, and I think it made everything better. But it came actually out of us basically getting Act Two to almost a complete state in the animatic, right?
Yeah,
And we just once you put all the pieces together, and we had some placeholder sound effects, we had some placeholder VO, and we had some pretty rough animations in there. Just the timing on a lot of the stuff felt wrong. People, characters were speaking for too long. It wasn't punchy enough. The order of events for some of the gags to play, they just weren't working right. I mean, pure and
yeah,
simple. And so we actually did go back, and I did a pretty big rewrite of two sections of in the middle of Act Two, and I think that the results made it the work, the effort that it took to do that really made it better. I mean, you can see it in the redone animatic that is available up on the Patreon site.
yeah. I think yeah, it gets to a point where sometimes a rewrite's necessary. We always walk that tightrope because you can kind of keep these things forever because nothing's ever really done. But at
Right.
the same time, I mean, the broad strokes that you kind of redid on the script, I think really were helpful. I mean, I think it's really good. It's in a great spot now.
I think the thing that, for me at least, and maybe your take on it is slightly different. Are you thinking about giving her a streak of blue in her hair?
I was thinking about it, or maybe adding some sort of just to show that there's some shape to her hair a little bit.
Oh, I
But I
see.
don't know.
So, like a
I'm
yeah.
still I'm still on the fence. I'm just kind
Mm-hmm.
of throwing it in there, just to kind of shape her head a little bit. Because again, I have no lines to go off of. I'm trying to just figure out ways I can kind of still help give some dimensionality to these characters,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
without feeling too paper cutouty. And this is just one attempt,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it's going to work or not. What do you think?
Well, um, I think
Yeah,
that, like, if you think about Doctor Exposition's personality, um, she is not one for flights of just random fancy, but she also is, you know, when she is confident about something, she is the utmost confident about it. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that a blue streak is the right thing for her. But what I will say is this: the red glasses I think are brilliant. I've
so
always liked the red glasses.
so here's a so already to me, just with that conversation, it tells me that it's not working for what my goal was, because this was meant to be a highlight, not actually a dyed streak.
Ah, okay,
And
okay,
if it's not, and if you read that as a dyed streak, that
um,
means that
okay.
I convey the idea well enough. So I don't know whether it's even worth me trying to push it more towards like a lighter color to kind of
Mm-hmm.
help say, oh look, there's a highlight on her head.
I mean, I think if
Without
you push it to white, I see because the art is so flat. That looks like she's got two parts.
yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I don't know that it's for me. It's not really solving any problems. Like I feel like it's a bit of a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't personally have a problem with her just having black hair there. For me at least, it's a recognizable enough hairstyle that I understand what the shape is supposed to be intuitively.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Cool. Well, that's why we're here.
Yep, I do love the glasses though. I mean, I really do. She's so upright and vertical, and with intention, right? Like the way she looks is very much um, sort of the almost stick in the mud, right? That I kind of envisioned her when I started writing the character, and so she's a very upright, proper citizen. But then that sort of flare of the red frames, I just thought they're slightly bigger than her head. It gives her that slight rebellious streak that everybody always wants to have, and I just thought it was perfect.
yeah, that was kind of the intention, was to give her something like, that's her splurging.
Yeah,
Is her.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. But they're still functional though, right? That's the thing. Like it's practical splurging, you know. It's
Yeah,
not on some silly thing like a ring or you know, or a $3,000 cell phone. It's, you know, I use these glasses, you know. So
yeah.
it's okay that they have a little color in them. So yeah, I really like that. And so what are you working on here now?
I am. Well, that was weird. I'm just giving her a little bit of dimension to her ear to make sure we can see her ear there.
I see. Oh, I see. Great. Okay, I got you.
You'll see it there.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit, but again, I might go back and tweak that a little bit. I don't know if I'm like that. Maybe it's better just to kind of leave it
I
out.
like your headspace though. I like where you're going with it. I no giving her an ear actually to me it made almost an immediate difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these little tweaks like this. That's why, even though she's coming together, but I'm gonna definitely spend a little bit more time on her.
No, I'm
Um,
actually yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what a difference that makes for me with just that tiny little bit of hair that you've added there. Her
cool.
having a defined ear actually makes her a lot more real. I don't know. Maybe not be the right word to use, but
No, that again. So like before, it was a hair streak, but this time that little piece of hair helped with this. I mean, it's just kind of always there's always a, it's always kind of a weird, I don't know, crapshoot. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to stick and what doesn't. But that's helpful to know
mm-hmm.
that that's working. The next thing I'm going to try to do is try to make her jacket here.
Oh, here we go. We're moving
I'm gonna,
on.
I am going to darken her jacket for now, but it's going to be roughly this type of color. But because I have such a white, stark background,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to darken it for now just to get the shape blocked in.
Okay.
And then from there.
Oh, right. Sure. You can block in the shape and then change the color to whatever you
And
want
I'll
when it's
change the
ready.
color up. Yeah, exactly.
The magic of digital animation.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, but
it is a luxury.
yeah,
So just,
yeah,
you know, back in the day, I
yeah,
can't do it
right.
no.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's right the first time. Otherwise, there's a lot of money to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, even when we were back when we met back at Warner Brothers, and this was what in 2006, something like that, 2007.
Yeah, roughly that.
The
Mhm.
degree to which technology has advanced and made animation easier, even in the less than 10 years that it's been, is it's remarkable to me.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of exciting things happening to where we can, we're in a situation now, especially with the current climate where we still keep producing. Nothing's really changed
Yeah,
for us. We've been still picking away at this thing for a couple of years now. Well, dusting it off. I mean, we started it in 2007 ish, but
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
we've kind of hit it full steam again recently.
Yeah, but I think honestly, one of the things that's helped is just us creating a regular cadence of updates. Right, the
Yeah,
it's not, but not in a negative way. Like it's not an obligation to post to Patreon weekly, and it's not an obligation to do these streams. It's just something that we really enjoy doing. But having sort of a milestone or something to shoot for on a weekly basis, I don't know about you. I feel you probably agree. Has really helped give me a point of focus, right? And it keeps you on task.
yeah, it does. I feel the same way. I mean, it's kind of like it's just part of just it's a weekly thing we do, and we sort of it's sort of a I think you term this, but it kind of acts as sort of not to use negative reinforcement, but it makes you want to get stuff done before our weekly call, or now our weekly stream to kind of keep it going.
Right, our own self shame machine.
Yeah, our shame machine. Yeah, I think it works really well. I think it's a good term for it.
But well, yeah, we'll have to write that down and remember. That'll be a villain that that Calamity, or at least an antagonist that the Calamity has to.
He may have just
Um,
We may have just created one. We can call it the shame machine. It's a robot AI that runs around.
It's more. I'm like totally just blue sky. I'm just going off on a tangent here. No, what it actually is it's a machine that has been wandering the deserts of Dry Gulp Gorge for eons. Like everybody knows about it. No one knows where it came from. It's one of these classic sort of forces of nature, right?
Yeah,
It's man versus nature kind of almost in that genre, but the shame machine, it stumbles across the desert spreading shame wherever it goes, and
yep.
and for some reason or another Calamity has to confront it. And I can already tell you that at the end of the episode the shame machine is not defeated. Instead it rambles on in a different direction, and Dry Gulp Gorge is spared for another day.
Okay, and I got something. So first of all, the visuals. So yes, folks, we're creating a villain right
Yeah,
now.
right now this is real, this is happening.
First of all. But the thing is the villain. He's going to be kind of 50 styles robot. Like that classic boxy look kind of look where
Okay.
giant. That's what I'm thinking. Like he kind of wanders the desert, and Calamity, of course, is getting defeated by him because she keeps getting shamed. Because again, her confidence isn't high anyway. She's really susceptible to shame.
Right, exactly, right.
Um,
Yeah, actually,
and
wow, that's really brilliant because yeah, she has a lot of self doubt just because of who she is, where she is in her life. She's sort of been thrust into this hero role, and she wasn't sure she was prepared for it. So yeah, of course she's susceptible to shame. I mean, it's brilliant.
so,
Yeah.
so wait, so like he'd look something like he'd kind of look like um, mouth like this.
Yeah, like almost like Bender.
Yeah, like Bender. Yes, exactly. Like dishes on the side type of thing,
Yeah. Transmit it broadcasts shame. Yeah.
and then like some sort of like radio tower type
Yeah, a little
thing,
bit of a Jetsons feel on top. Yeah.
and then he's just super boxy.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know.
yeah. Super. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, or whoever created it created the Shame Machine created the Shame Machine for functionality. There's no aesthetic. There's no point in aesthetics for something like the Shame Machine.
Yeah. So here's the other. So conceit for your one to wrap up your episode. So Clammy does find a way to defeat Shame Machine, but again, to make him a recurring villain, what she doesn't know is he's solar powered, and it takes her maybe three interactions with him to finally learn that he's solar powered. He only attacks him today. She finally puts the clues together, or maybe somebody else does.
I mean, maybe Doctor Exposition. Who knows?
Yeah, or yes,
If
Doctor
I'm feeling really lazy, yeah.
yeah, figure out how Clowney figures it out. Yes, Doctor Exposition is here to help solve that issue. But yeah, that's kind of fun. It's kind of on the fly. Shame
That's
machine.
funny. Yeah, there you go. And this is real. This is honestly, whenever we start giggling about a concept, this is where our creations come from. So
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about this villain.
yeah, the Shame Machine. I love it. It sounds fun too. I just like the name of it. There you go. Well, I mean, it's right around a half hour, and I think that is about as strong a way to end the stream this week as I can imagine, with the Shame Machine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for us, James, and say that if you want to keep updated with Calamity Jane, you can always head on over to Patreon. Right now, most of our updates are making public to everybody, unless there's some sort of explicit. A special thing that I want to make sure patrons get, but we'd love to have you as a patron as well, so feel free to subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Calamity Jane, and you can find us at calamitydane.rocks. We'll take you to the Patreon site, and or just look for us on Patreon as well. In the meantime, we're gonna sign off for this week, and we'll see you next Monday, hopefully at the same usual time. Life gets in the way sometimes, and as always, check for Thursdays for our weekly Patreon updates. Good night, everybody. James, why don't you take us out?
I was just going to say, I'm going to do my impersonation of Shame Robot right now by saying, Eric and James, you guys are fools for suffering and using man-made time constraints to stop your stream. You're terrible. And not have any sleep tonight. That's my terrible.
Wow, it's working though. I feel guilty already, but nonetheless, I'm gonna call it quits for today.
Yeah.
All right, James. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see everybody else next week. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.